I have been in Sydney for more than 10 years now और हर साल कम से कम 2 बार तो मैं बोलते हैं कि मेरे को इस जगह पे आना है. फाइनली आज मुहूर्त निकल गया and I am at the Sydney fish market finally. This is one of the biggest fish markets in the southern hemisphere. I think third largest because of all kinds and all that, but वो tour के अंदर पता चलेगा और information. It is a great place for seafood lovers, but sadly I am not one of them. मेरे food pyramid या chart के अंदर seafood comes at the bottom. I'm not a big fan of seafood, but I am a big fan of anything BTS. BTS मतलब behind the scenes. मैं आया हूँ एक tour करने, which will tell me all the obviously behind the scenes of the Sydney fish market. And best part of the video is need to prepare anything और मेरे को इसके बारे में कुछ पता नहीं करना था because that's the whole tour about. Time हो रहा है 6:24. Call time था 6:40 का. 10-15 मिनट देखते हैं अंदर कहाँ पे मिलना है and then the whole tour starts. पंगा ये है एंट्री नहीं पता कहाँ पे है. फाइनली एंट्री तो मिल गई, तक अभी तक कुछ खुला नहीं है. अभी होपफुली थोड़ी देर टाइम में सब कुछ भर जाएगा, बट ये क्रिस्टी नहीं मिल रही. कॉफ़ी पीने का तो बड़ा मन कर रहा था. फिश से पहले या बाद में कॉफ़ी नहीं पीते तो वाइट स्पॉट्स हो जाता है. आई थिंक उसी का ही डर जाता है, तो इसलिए कॉफ़ी कैंसिल. बचपन जो झूठ वगैरह बोले जाते हैं वो अभी तक मौजूद है, पर मेरे को जगह ही नहीं मिल रही है. क्रिस्टीज़ है कहाँ पे?
And then I finally found Alex. He is a passionate fisherman, has been the resident tour guide for the past 7 years and would rather be on a kayak than talk to me.
This is the room in which you come from. Tony, who we're going to go see now. Go on. Every morning.
Back up to the camera.
Oh my god.
You picked the fatty one. Nice. That was going to be my next space.
Oh. Oh my god.
Oh. Like.
Oh man, that was yum. That was nice. Look, you had it yet?
I don't know.
It looked nasty, but it's yum.
See you later.
She's just a customer, she's not on the tour. So we're here at Claudio's and they are selling live A-grade male mud crabs. Now, most places are going to claim to sell A-grade crabs, but it's pretty easy to tell yourself if they actually are the grade they're advertised. Pretty easy to tell because the males always have this pointy angular section on the underside of their carapace, and it's the same colour as the rest of the shell. Females have a broad semicircular base that's quite dark in colour. So straight away we know he's a male, but the real question is the grading. And the grading is based around the strength of their shell, because that directly correlates to how much time they've had in between molting their shell to grow. That's quite taxing for them, and they need time and energy to recover the meat that they've lost as part of the molt. So you want the shell to be as hard as possible. Now this guy looks deceptively clean, often with good quality crabs, A-grade crabs. The shell looks old and it's got copper bronze staining on the inside here, and then the shell itself will show a lot of signs of wear, so little scratches and scars and barnacles. He's got a little bit of character on the top of the shell, but overall he's very clean and neat, which should be an issue of concern. The best way to determine the grade is to squeeze the shell. So 1, 2, 3, squeeze here, and you apply roughly 5 kilograms of pressure. Now I'm squeezing pretty firmly and there is no give there at all. That is very firm on the underside. So at worst, he's going to be a B grade crab. But at the best, he's A grade. Now you flip them over, always be careful of the claws because they will take your digits off. They will crush, that one will crush your thumb to bits, that side will cut it to bits. So the last spot to check is below the line of the eye where it bulges out here. There's a little, they don't have shoulder blades, but if they did, and you give this a squeeze. Now that, as you can see, is rock solid. Doesn't affect the crab's not stressed by this process, certainly not damaged. That shell being firm on both sides makes it an A grade crab. And an A grade crab is going to be full of meat from edge of the claw to edge of the claw. If he was soft on one side but not the other, that's a B. If it's soft on both sides, that's a C grade. That's missing nearly half. So you'll see just a bit of meat up the top. This will be empty and the meat will be bland and mushy and awful. This is the red banded Mowongs and he is fantastically fresh. In fact, I've judged this guy as being too fresh to eat today. Now what I mean is that he's only died recently, and animals with muscles after they die go into what's called rigor mortis, in which the muscles are cramped and contracted, and they will stay contracted for up to 3 days. And you can't really eat that fish while it's stiff with rigor. It'll be chewy and tough, the flavour hasn't developed, and the sugar content won't peak for another 2 or 3 days. So here's what I mean. That tail should be drooping all the way down and pointing to the ground by the time it's rested and ready to consume. That is stiff as a board, both fillets are fully contracted. Were you to cook him whole on the bone, you know, gently steamed, it should be the case if you cook it right that meat gently slides off the bone. That would not happen for this fish. The meat would still be gripping the spine and the bones coming vertically off the spine, and it would be as though it was undercooked even though you've done a perfect job. This fish is sashimi grade. But were you to fillet it and slice it raw right now as sashimi, the meat would be crunchy and chewy with no flavour having developed. So a sushi chef would absolutely use this fish. It's stunning, it's high quality, but they would take it home, control the moisture loss in the right fridge with the right humidity, and wait at least 3 days before taking a knife to it, because then and only then is it ready to eat.
बेसिकली अंदर तो होके आ गए हैं. They weren't any cameras allowed. जितना भी अभी तक सुना है, very interesting. बहुत कुछ चीजें ऐसी है कि जो I had no idea about or learned a lot about mud crab.
You got the Cape Conway, and then you got the oldest, would actually be some of the oldest fishing boats in Australia. So you got the Seaport, the Kiriwa, and the Arakiwa. They are about 90 years old each and built by the guys who developed the industry in Australia. This is the living link to Australian commercial fishing history. And they still fish. This net belongs to that boat. The Seaport's the oldest, most broken down and still most effective boat in the fleet. And we are so lucky to have a major city on the water with a working fish market with an actual auction, because that keeps the price down, with a local fishing fleet that still catches local fish locally. That's fairy tale stuff for the seafood industry worldwide. It's what we call the chain. There's a bit of a misinformation about trawling in that it's a big, heavy, gnarly chain that drags along the bottom. This is designed to, if it touches the bottom accidentally, just roll over the top and bounce away. These are rubber discs with weighted wire underneath. The reason it's heavy is just to keep the bottom lip of that mouth of the net open. When they're fishing, they do 2.5 knots. This is 2.5 knots. 5 k's an hour. Everything's faster than 5 k's an hour in the sea, right? Scallops are faster than that. Yeah. So they catch about 10% of their school they're trying to catch, and they only catch the 10% that are really bad at avoiding a net. We've put cameras on the front of the nets, we've seen it. The net comes up, it's a big shadowy thing. 90% of the fish swim above it, below it, left or right. The 10% that they get stuck in.
Yeah.
If fish that are too small to keep come into the net, the fishermen do not want them to come up on the boat, because they've got to waste their time and effort throwing them back over the side.
Yeah.
It's illegal to keep them. They comply with the reg. Because ideally, everything they get on the boat is commercially saleable. That's profitable, sustainable fishing. There is so much fish for everyone in this bloody country.
Yeah.
Like seriously, I'm allowed 20 squid per day, 2 abalone, 10 sea urchin, 5 litres of school prawns. All of this is what I'm allowed per person per day. They're an island nation girt by sea and no one lives here. It is interesting, isn't it? It's just different cultural approach. It's a numbers game. Okay, that is officially the end of our tour. Thank you very much for coming.
Thanks, Alex.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Tour finished. It was really good. Time 8:30. I, to be honest, learned a lot. और जो ये fresh का मामला है, it's not actually fresh. जो वीडियो में देख ही लिया होगा, obviously मैंने डाला होगा. There were actually 3 things that I wanted to try. First one was doshi, which is sashimi donut, fish and chips. Third one was something that I'll never order at a restaurant though. This is actually a very good time to use my New South Wales Dine and Discover voucher. Residents get 4 vouchers, $25 each के, जिसमें से 2 you can use for dine-in and 2 you can use for discovering new things. I've ordered a battered barramundi, doshi, sushi. Total was $33.66 and then $25 voucher के साथ it costed me around $8. Looks really good. इसके अंदर rice, obviously, avocado, soft shell crab, bit of teriyaki sauce and salmon भी लगता है. मेन प्रॉब्लम है इसको खाएंगे कैसे, क्योंकि आई डोंट थिंक चॉपस्टिक से डोनट खाया जा सकता है, बट it's got salmon, avocado, roast pepper, has some teriyaki sauce, mayonnaise. Oh, has some chili also in it. Beer battered barramundi. दूसरी best thing मेरे को लगी Tabasco. It's glass. Don't actually need the knife as well. Wasn't sure मैंने कौन सी sushi मंगाई है. It's got black rice. I think it's scallop beef. It's a very good experience. 9:15 in the morning. So obviously, कोई सुबह फिश एंड चिप्स खाने नहीं आया. मेरे लिए स्पेशली फ्रेश बनाया. 3-4 घंटे तो मैंने यहाँ पे बिता ही लिया. पार्किंग वाइज भी मैंने वसूल कर ही लिया अपने $50 एंड द डाइन इन वाउचर वेरी हेल्पफुल. अब इस वीडियो को यहीं पे ख़त्म करते हैं. थैंक यू सो मच फॉर वॉचिंग. हैव अ गुड डे, गुड लाइफ. मिलते हैं नेक्स्ट टाइम, जो मोस्ट प्रॉब्ली नेक्स्ट. बाय. डोशी सांग डोसा की भी उसको प्यार से बुला. Surprisingly, doesn't smell that fishy यहाँ पे. You know, जो एक गंदी स्मेल फिश की जो वो होती है, which you associate that with, यहाँ पे बिल्कुल भी नहीं थी. टाटा गुड बाय. कम से कम 5 बारी तो बोला, 5 दिखाता हूँ. वीडियो को हम यहीं पे खत्म करते हैं. इस वीडियो को यहीं पे ख़त्म करते हैं. अब इस वीडियो को यहीं पे ख़त्म करते हैं. थैंक यू सो मच फॉर वॉचिंग.